Oh.
Today's on silent.
Oh. It is now. Any shit on my face? Look good? What happened to GeekSpeak? Why did it come up GeekSpeak is low? Oh, it is low. Yeah. It's behind. Why is it behind? Head just to the head. Oh, no, it's Hey, hey!
Welcome to Geek Speak Live.
Yep. Hello, Geek Speakers! It is Friday night, and where else would you want to be but here with the fantastic team behind Geek Speak, myself, Todd Bailey, and the co-hostess with the mostest.
Wade Copson on the pots and pans.
Hello, Ginge!
Hey, what's happening?
Pardon me, we're wolfing down. You've got half your dinner eaten.
Look. I was running a little bit late, right?
Someone was running late. I have been drinking with an Irishman this afternoon. I've been having early birthday drinks with an Irishman, so I'm 3 sheets to the wind. This show's going to be a bit friggin' loose. Let me give you the tip.
More than usual?
We've literally run through we didn't literally run through. We drove through the McDonald's drive-through.
Yes.
Ordered our meals, and this time, Ginge, this man right here, said to him, "You better fucking check that. We got ripped last time."
I pulled out the receipt and I went, now, there was one cheeseburger.
Let's read through with me. Blah, blah, blah.
There was one fillet of fish. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, no. Can you look in there and tell me if this is correct?
Meanwhile, I'm brandishing a pistol in the passenger seat going, "Lady, do what he says." We got short at our clubhouse chicken last time and we're a bit pissed.
And I still haven't managed to eat it because we're trying to come live to you tonight.
Dude, eat your dinner. It's too slowly. This is the last of petty cash. But have a bite, Gingy. Have a bite. Let's see, who's joining us? I've got no message. Oh, here we go. Scott and Laura are watching us. Hello, Paul's tuned in. Hello, Paul. How are you? It's been a hectic week. I've been dealing with banks and stuff like that this week. I got
insurance people.
I got a little bit broken-hearted this afternoon. It's something I was hoping to pick up this afternoon.
Yeah, well,
I won't be able to pick up till Monday.
We were going to announce something here on the show about someone getting a year older, and
well, we're not going to do that at the moment. We're just going to ignore that. So we've got tons of cool stuff to talk about this show. We're going to talk about Berserker, which is the new Keanu Reeves comic. There's a bit of controversy around it.
Shit,
we're going
really?
to talk, We're going to talk about that. I have been listening to Rob Liefeld's podcast this week. Robservations. Holy! You remember Heroes Reborn?
I do remember Heroes
Reborn. 1996, where Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee came back from Image Comics. They were contracted to do Avengers, Captain America, Fantastic Four, Iron Man. The sales went through the roof. Then Marvel went into bankruptcy. And I've been listening to Rob Liefeld talking about all that.
Yeah.
We only kind of knew the gist of it from Wizard magazine.
Yes.
Which it turns out Rob Liefeld's not a fan. He actually had a falling out with Wizard, and so wouldn't answer their friggin' inquiry. So they just ran with what they want. So a lot of the stuff...
So they only had half the story.
The stuff we grew up reading was very biased and against Rob Liefeld. He's got the receipts to prove a lot of what he talks about. He's had people in the industry come out since he's done these podcast episodes and go, "Rob, you're 100% correct. I back you up on that. I was there in the Marvel offices." And you learn that Jim Lee was an absolute piece of backstabbing shit.
And we don't need to use the word allegedly.
No, there's no allegedly about it. You hear what Jim Lee, how he undercut Rob Liefeld when Marvel was going into bankruptcy. He offered to do the books at like a fraction of the price that Jim and Rob had agreed to originally.
That's what I didn't understand. Yeah, like they agreed to do it at one set price, and then he went behind his back and said, I'll do it for this price.
I'll just do a real quick recap, right? So Marvel towards the end of 1995, came to some of the Image partners. The first one they actually approached was Todd McFarlane. And they said, "Would you be interested in coming back and maybe taking on Spider-Man and a few other books to get the sales up, rah, rah." Todd McFarlane looked at them and went, "Fuck off." right? So they approached Jim and Rob. Jim and Rob said, well, we'd be crazy to not at least look at this and see what the offer is. So they met with the people from Marvel, the higher-ups, the suits at Marvel, and this is the time. You remember, at this time, Marvel, 1995, they'd bought up a bunch of other companies. They were heavily in debt, owned by Ron Perlman at the time, not the actor, but the finance guy. And so they were buying up companies left, right, and they were like, yeah, we want you guys on board. We want to contract out the sales on, like, say, Captain America and Avengers at that time were about 30,000 copies. They dropped, plummeted, right? So they said, you guys, we reckon we can get it. And Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee were like, we reckon we can do about 200,000 copies, if not more.
Yep.
Right? So they negotiated with Marvel. They blah, 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 back and forth. Marvel offered them, get this is $1996, $3 million a piece.
Hang on, what?
$3 million a piece, right? Rob would get $3 million, Jim would get $3 million. Now that didn't cover the cost of the books. The books were separate, as in they then said we want a budget of $40,000 per book to pay the like they were going to take some money themselves as artists, but they said our writers, inkers, colorists, all that. The production of the book, we want $40,000 per book, which Marvel went, yep, done, not a problem. Then Rob and Jim go, oh, this is a bit like sports. You've come to us. We reckon we could charge a signing fee, right? Mm-hmm. So Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee turn around and say, we want $350,000 a piece. Marvel didn't even book. Yep, done. Here's your signing fee. You'll get $3 million, and it's going to be paid over this amount of time. Let's get going on the books. So Rob and Jim put their teams together. As soon as they did that, Todd McFarlane and some of the other Image partners were offside. They were like, how dare you? I'm going to do Rob's version of Todd McFarlane. How dare you join with Marvel? We've gone out on our own, Rob. Why would you do this? So fucking...
It sounds like the Doctor from The Simpsons.
It's shocking. My Todd McFarlane, I do the man no joke. He's a legendary guy and I love him dearly to bits.
But that was the whole idea of Image, to get away from him.
Get this though, Rob actually explains in Rob's Ovations how for nearly 12 months at that stage, he'd already had his resignation letter from Image ready to go.
Oh, wow.
He's got the dates on it and everything else. He wanted to get licensed books. He wanted to get, and he had just taken on, I think, Battlestar Galactica as a comic series.
Wow. Which
he'd pulled out, so you remember his Image series was Extreme Comics. Mm-hmm. He then launched Maximum Press. Maximum Press wasn't affiliated with Image. He was hedging his bets. He went, they won't let me do, books that are licensed. So I'm going to do that under Maximum Press separate.
Yep,
he took on, Battlestar Galactica, stuff like that.
Okay.
Image were pissed about that. So they were already up him about that. Todd McFarlane, Mark Silvestri, those kind of guys are like, yeah, we're not happy about this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And Rob's like, hey, and his own solicitor, who was also working with Image at the time, who was like Image's solicitor, is like, Rob, don't do it yet. Don't crack the shits. Don't put your letter of resignation in. Just see what things pan out.
Yep.
So Marvel come to these guys. They say, come and do this, right? And these guys, when they go like with $3 million a piece plus the signing bonus, fuck yeah. West Coast, right? They're on the West Coast, right? They're contractors.
Okay.
East Coast, Marvel head office. Those guys are like, fuck these guys. These guys left Marvel. What do they want to do coming back here? They were panicking because they thought, we're going to be done out of jobs, right? If this is successful, Marvel, the higher honchos, the owners are going to turn around and go, why the fuck are we paying these schmucks in New York to do this? We'll just contract all the books out to subcontractors.
Okay. Yep.
And boom, done. So there was shenanigans going on the East Coast at the Marvel head office. Meanwhile, so Jim and Rob are doing their thing. The books come out. The first few issues sold so imagine, as I said, before these guys come on board, you're looking at about 30,000 copies per issue.
Yep.
Up around 250 to 300,000.
Holy shit.
Right? Within the first issue alone, Marvel made back the $3 million
Holy moly.
that they'd paid Rob Liefeld.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. Yep.
Made their money back in that first issue. Same with Iron Man. Made their money back to what they paid Jim Lee. Right? Remembering each book had its own separate friggin' budget of $40,000 US. This is 1996 money, which even back then was phenomenal money to pay a co-writer, an inker, an artist, a letterer, colorist, a little bit of budgeting material and that. So anyway, this is just before Marvel the shit hits the fan and Marvel goes into bankruptcy because they bought Skybox trading card company, they bought Fleer, they bought Panini, the sticker company. So Marvel under Ron Perlman was just buying up other companies, taking on debt, right? And Marvel at that time was a bit of a juggernaut. They even bought Heroes World, which is a distributor like Diamond Comics International.
Wow.
They bought their own distributor, said, fuck the rest of yours, we're going exclusive. And these books, the Heroes Reborn line of books, were the first books to come out exclusively through Heroes World, okay? So like, Marvel Restaurants, remember the chain of Marvel Restaurants at the theme parks?
Yeah.
This is that time frame. Those books came out in the Marvel Restaurants. In fact, so Marvel was a bit of a juggernaut, but they were super, super, super debt heavy under Ron Perlman, right? So they're about halfway through the contract. It gets to Christmas time. These books are selling well, good press, blah, 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 blah. Now, Rob Liefeld, a couple of months beforehand, had moved offices, right? He had moved across to cheaper rent. He said, I could see the market was starting to taper down. He said, I'm paying artists and writers and all that. He said, I'm running a bit of a medium-sized business here and going, shit, we need to probably cut our costs a bit.
Okay.
Jim Lee went the opposite way. Jim Lee went and took on the swankiest offices in La Jolla, California. It was like the swankiest neighborhood, real upper-class restaurants nearby, all this kind of stuff. So Jim went and upped the ante, right? Rob's going the other way. Rob's going, I'm going to cut costs a little bit here. So they do that, right? And of course, none of us knew. We all knew that there was a falling out between Rob Liefeld and Image, right? At this. Well, none of us knew. We thought it was because of Heroes Reborn. No, it turned out it was because of Maximum Press, him wanting to go off on his own. He was ready to leave nearly 12 months beforehand, had held out. Shit hits the fan. There's a lawsuit against Rob Liefeld from Image, right? And that includes Wildstorm, all the imprints, Tom McFarlane Productions, because they all come under that.
Yep.
And it was a bit of a frivolous thing. They're just like, we want you for costs because you've done these books that aren't part of Image. We think they should be. The fact we're going to go you for costs of us having to chase you after this, blah, 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 blah. It was a niggly little lawsuit, right? And Rob Liefeld's just like, oh, guys, come on, So, it's Christmas. These books are halfway done, right? Boxing Day, Rob Liefeld gets a frigging phone call from someone higher up at Image going, I have to inform you, we are going to look at filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. You're one of our biggest contractors. I have to inform you, we need a meeting next week that this is happening, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, shit, okay, right. So they'll meet. Him and his solicitor go into the meeting the following week.
With Image?
No, with Marvel. Marvel,
okay,
right?
Okay.
They go into Marvel. Marvel are going, we're about to enter Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So, we would love, we feel that these books haven't hit the sales threshold that we wanted. And Rob Liefeld's sitting there going, you were selling 30,000 copies of Avengers. You're now up to 300,000. You're telling me it hasn't hit the fucking level you were wanting? Okay. So they go, we'd love to continue, but you're going to have to reduce your rate. Right? They then turn around. They then turn around and go, and we have it in writing here from Jim Lee that he's going to do he's happy to take on your books at a fraction of the cost of what you're currently. So in other words, instead of getting his full $3 million, he would have got whatever he's paid now and a tiny fraction. The budget on the books would have dropped, so he wouldn't have been able to pay the other co-artists, writers, inkers, all that kind of stuff, the same money. Rob Liefeld's going, fucking what? Jim Lee's offered to take it on at a fraction of what we were doing it at. He hasn't said anything to me. And they're like, we've got it in writing here. He's willing to do it.
Wow.
What are you going to do? And Rob Liefeld goes, I'm out. Done. Right?
Yes.
So they went, well, we need the finished product. Whatever you've done so far, we need that.
Okay.
And he's gone, we'll see. So, he's left that meeting. He's gone, holy shit. Meanwhile, Jeff Loeb, the writer, the comic, who's now one of the fucking higher-ups at Marvel Television, right?
Yep.
Jeff Loeb has been working with Rob, and they've been talking day on, every single day for hours a day while Rob's drawing and whatever else. They are very simpatico, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Lowe brings him and lets slip during the conversation that something about Jim Lee being, when Jim becomes editor-in-chief at Marvel, and Rob's like, fucking, what did you say? And he goes, oh, I misspoke, gotta go. Boom. Oh. And Rob turns to his wife and says, something's going on, right? There's something bigger at play here. So, cue to the next morning.
Okay.
On Rob Liefeld's door early in the morning, about 8 o'clock, right? Now, Rob lives in Anaheim.
Okay.
Jeff Loeb's in LA, so he's driven like 90 minutes to get to Anaheim. Here's Jeff Loeb on his doorstep, and he's like, Rob, I've got to talk to you face to face. I've got to spill the beans. I feel like I've been stabbing, working behind your back. He said Jim's making a play to sell Wildstorm, his company that was part of Image, to Marvel. And fucking Rob's like, I thought something like this was happening. And they've promised him that he'll be editor-in-chief at Marvel.
Okay.
So, he said the weekend that had just gone by, which is right near Christmas, or just after Christmas, sorry, Jim Lee had cleaned out the office at Wildstorm, said, right, none of the staff can come in, blah, blah, blah. Ron Perlman, not the actor, but the big financier, right? He had come and toured Wildstorm Studios. Oh, yep, cool. We'll fly you to New York or LA or whatever in a couple of days. We're going to do. They put him up at one of the fanciest hotels, big personal suite. Let's talk business. We want to buy Wildstorm off you. You'll be editor-in-chief at Marvel, right? Apparently by this stage, Jim Lee has already seen the writing on the wall. Oh, I don't want to run a business, have to pay all my staff and everything else. I'd sooner get bored out and just be a company man, right? He hasn't told anyone else this. He's like literally fucking stabbing Rob Liefeld in the back. Not only this, he calls a meeting then because by this stage, Image is like, we want Rob Liefeld gone. Right? We want Liefeld out. We want him gone. So fucking, they call a meeting. Liefeld's solicitor, Liefeld, Jim Lee, who the other Image partners have made their proxy. So he speaks for the other Image partners. And the Image attorney, right? They've come in and Rob's thinking this is going to be a bit of a drawn out thing. This is going to be back and forth. They're going me for costs for legal stuff. Rah. Jim Lee walks in and goes, Rob, sign the paperwork, leave Image, and we're done. We're dusted. Let's call it a day. Okay, why? Let's just do it. This is the easiest way. You go off, do your own thing, blah, 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 and you drop the suit against Image, right? And which is Wildstorm and all the sub-imprints, right? You drop that, sign the paperwork, off you go, we're done. Done. Off he goes, right? Rob Liefeld goes, I'm getting out of here. I'm going off to do my own thing. Oh, shit. Right? This all came out years later, right? This is why we're only hearing about it now that Rob Liefeld's doing his own podcast.
Yeah.
Jim Lee had flat out ignored the directions of the other Image partners. They fucked up by making him proxy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He went in and he sorted it out himself what suited Jim Lee. By Rob Liefeld dropping the fucking little lawsuit against Image for, countersuit, everything else.
He could then...
Jim Lee could turn around and say to Marvel, there is no hold-ups on me selling my company. There's no lawsuits against us, no nothing.
Yep.
Buy me out, right? He was doing that. The other Image partners
man.
Oh, fuck you. And this is why, when it happened, you didn't hear an awful lot about other Image partners going, oh, we're sad to see Jim go or whatever else. Jim Lee was already on the outer. He'd fucked Rob over. He'd fucked the partners over at Image. Jim Lee was looking after his own ass, right?
Yep.
So, anyway, Marvel enters Chapter 11, bankruptcy.
Yep.
The other parties involved, which is Ike Perlmutter, Avi Arad, who eventually ran Marvel out of bankruptcy and all that, they fought against Ron Perlman, said, you caused this, you're trying to buy more companies, right? It went before the courts, back and forth, before a judge. The judge goes, this group, which is Avi Arad and Ike Perlmutter, have put the best case forward to get you out of bankruptcy. You guys, we're giving control of the company to them. So Ron Perlman... he's out. He's like, oh, well, fuck it, I'm out. Buy me out, whatever. The whole deal with Jim Lee falls over, right? The promise of him becoming editor-in-chief, gone, right? He's looking around going, hey, DC.
I'll go across the street.
Do you want to buy Wildstorm off me? DC's seen all the shit with Marvel, seen everything, and going, we'll buy you. Boom, done. You come and work for us.
Son of a bitch.
Right? So that's Jim Lee was done. He's a company man at DC, where he still is today.
He is, yeah.
Right? Rob had gone off and done his own stuff. Marvel trade their way out of bankruptcy, obviously sell the rights to the movies, start kickstarting things along, blah, 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 blah. Marvel becomes the powerhouse that it is today, gets bought by Disney. Here we are, right? 2000, just as a little addendum to this, 2000, Bill Jemas, who became, after Marvel came out of bankruptcy, they helped, Bill Jemas became publisher at Marvel.
Okay.
He helped get Marvel on the straight and narrow. He was the guy who launched the Ultimate line at Marvel, which was super popular, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man. And he was there until mid-2000s when he left Marvel and was no longer involved.
Okay.
So early 2000, 2001, whatever it was, he asked Rob Liefeld to come back and do a 4-part Wolverine story. They're having lunch somewhere. And he says to Rob, he goes... the whole thing of Jim Lee, being bought out by Marvel and being editor-in-chief. And Rob's like, yeah. He goes, I put the kibosh on that. Because he was high up in the company, but in a different division.
Yep.
And he saw this and he's going, this guy's covering his own ass. He's stabbing, he's companyman in the back, blah, blah, blah. No. And Bill Jemas looks at Rob and goes, yeah, I helped fucking stop that.
Wow, shit.
So, yeah, and when you hear all this... And Rob doesn't seem bitter about it. I mean, he's gone, oh, it's in the past, I've gone on, I've done
At the time, he would have been a bit pissed.
Oh, you could imagine, yeah, fuck yeah. But this is one thing about Rob Liefeld. He's got the receipts.
Yeah.
People have listened to these 4 episodes of the podcast where he talks about the Heroes Reborn.
Yep.
And there are people going, Rob, we back you up 100%. We were at Marvel at the time. We know what happened. I was at that meeting. Yes, what you said was true. So you know that. And see, he actually says, he goes, Wizard never reported on this because Wizard had such an anti-life... Because he had a falling out with Wizard and said, the stuff you're writing's wrong. I didn't say that. And Wizard went, oh, but it sells. And he went, I'm done with you. I'm not doing any more interviews. So when they would contact him about this stuff, he wouldn't comment.
Yep.
So they'd just run their own story. And of course, he wouldn't
Sounds
comment
like
and refute them and everything else.
Sounds like the new idea.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So that's why everything we grew up reading, you always looked at Rob Liefeld and went, oh, he must be a prima donna. He must be a
can't
hothead.
draw feet. He's a
well, there
dickhead.
was always that. But anyway, at the end of the day, Rob Liefeld, no, he was right. He was like, fucking, I just didn't talk to them. I didn't give them air. I went, I'm not going to fucking do this. And so we grew up learning the opposite side of history. Now he's come out and all these people in the industry have come out and gone, Rob Liefeld's right. What happened? What he says happened actually happened. He even talks about Ralph Macchio, not the actor from Karate Kid, but the actual editor at Marvel Comics.
I hoped it was going to be the Karate Kid.
Different dude. Ralph Macchio, the editor at Marvel and the creator, hated Liefeld with a passion. He saw this as a big threat.
Okay.
When they were coming across to do the signing for the sign-on bonuses and everything else, no one told anyone at Marvel Editorial in New York that these guys were arriving a couple of hours early. So Liefeld's rocked up, he's walking down the hallway, goes past Ralph Macchio's door. On his door is a fucking dartboard with Rob Liefeld's face and all the darts in it, right? Rob comes back, he opens the door and he says, hey Ralph, and Ralph's like, you, kind of thing. He said, I've never really had anything to do with this guy. And he goes, mate, I'm not intimidated by that. I'm here to help because the company's obviously thought they're failing enough. Your sales aren't up. We help rise. All the boats rise with us.
Yep.
And so they were all these guys at Marvel were kind of trying to self-sabotage the Heroes Reborn initiative.
Okay.
Because they thought that, and I get the thinking, they were like, if these guys are successful,
the rest of us are.
The rest of us are going to be, they're going to boot us out and they're going to bring on contractors to take the books on, right? Which, as we know, it actually did work. Those sales went up, but unfortunately, because Marvel was so dead heavy, they went into bankruptcy. Look at them today; they're owned by Disney. They traded their way out. They came out bigger, better, stronger than ever.
Have you won anything on your drink?
I've got a couple of little wins there. Anyway, I'm just peeling them off as we're doing the show. But anyway, so look, it was fascinating. Rob Liefeld, if you get a chance, listen to Rob's observations. But it ties back in to what I've been saying for the last couple of years about Jim Lee pushing digital comics big time, right?
Yes.
Ever since Dan DiDio got the boot at the start of the year, right? And Dan DiDio got ousted from DC Comics, we've seen that DC Comics just went, fuck retailers, fuck the direct market, we're going pushing towards digital initiatives, right? Mm-hmm. It's all fucking Jim Lee, the company man, the fucking brown noser, right? My opinion of Jim Lee, especially after listening to these it was already heading downward. Right?
Sure, he can draw well.
He could draw, but as a person, it seems he's a fucking cunt. Pardon the French. After listening to these podcasts, my fucking opinion of Jim Lee has hit all-time rock bottom. I'm like, you are a piece of shit. So, and it explains an awful fucking lot with what's going on at DC Comics right now.
Wow, shit.
There you go. That's my thing to start the show. That's a lot of talking.
That was a wonderful story. Thank you very much.
Were you fascinated by that?
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that with the boys and girls at home.
You're welcome.
G'day, Danny, Joel, Helen, Shonny, watching at home. Hey, what's happening? It's Friday Night Live.
Paul said, Wade, have you got anything to say? Hard to get a word in. I know, that's why I'm giving it to him now. I've got to take a breather and have a drink.
Have a breather? Come out through the week that...
Hey, Joel. By the way, Joel said hi to us.
Oh, hey, man. What's happening? I'm well, thank you. Thanks for asking. The Three Jokers artist, Jason Fabok.
Yes, Batman 3 Jokers, Jason Fabok.
He was doing a signing at a local comic shop in Ontario.
Yeah.
And what he was doing is he said to the guys at the comic shop, look, I'll sign 2 items for everyone for free, and then let's make it $10 for every item after that. Little did he know that he was signing all morning, and then all of a sudden he found out that the comic shop was charging $50 per item to sign.
You are kidding me.
Guys were paying $200 and up to get a couple books signed.
That's fucking cheeky. We would never ever think of doing that here.
And then
That's not right. That's not good.
Jason actually made a video when he found out, and he said, "Look, guys, that's not right. That's not what I'm about. If you've been charged that, come back. I'm going to stick around until 7 p.m. tonight. I'll sign anything you want, because that's not right."
I would be really calling that shop out. And if I was him, I'd be fucking like going, I will never sign or do a signing there again or promote your store again. For
Yeah.
that. That's fine. I mean, I know shops have been hit pretty hard with COVID, but you don't fuck your customers over. You don't, your regular customers.
Yeah.
You get an artist in to come and do some signings for you. You don't fuck them over by going, oh yeah, sit here and sign it. We're making $50 a hit off this.
But and he didn't ask for a signing sort of bonus, you know,
Or a fee or
I'll
anything
be
like
here for $500, and I'll
I'm
sit in
going
your
to
shop.
call it as I said. That's fucked up. We would never ever dream of doing
I
that.
really think that's upsetting.
low.
Robbie Patterson.
Rob Fleck, Pat Fleck.
Robbie.
I can't do it seriously because it's fucking
Robert Batterson.
Robert Batterson. That's right,
Yeah.
because they're calling it Pat Batterson.
Batterson.
Because of Patterson. his
Robert
last name.
Batterson.
He's got the COVID.
He's got the Rona.
My corona.
3 days back into filming, and all of a sudden,
So they were back on set.
3 days on set.
He has potentially shut the whole fucking set down.
I like the fact that Warner Brothers came out and said a member of the production tested positive.
Did they not actually name him?
They didn't name him. But if it was the clapper or the bloke
Oh,
on the
sorry, I thought you said has he got the clap. What he does on his own time.
if it was the makeup artist, if it was, do you think they would call it a member? They've done that just so that they can get around the fact that Robbie's got the Rona.
My corona.
That's going to shut down that movie for a long
It's already
long
been
time.
shut down for months.
Yeah.
They just got back to filming, and now good old Robert Patterson, was it R-Pats or whatever they call him?
Robbie.
He's going to shut the whole shebang down again.
G'day to Gary watching at home.
Hey Gary, Joel said put some rum in those drinks, boys. I've already had quite a few.
I don't think he needs any more.
I was drinking with an Irishman, a diet like a full-on, and Porrig, if you're watching, thank you, sir, for the Jemison glass. Really appreciate it. I was drinking. What's the fucking the Irish fighter?
I don't know.
You know, the Irish fighter, the guy who fucking with the suit with all the dollar signs on it. The fucking guy's in a lot of trouble lately.
Oh, yeah, McGregor.
Conor McGregor. I was tasting Conor McGregor's whiskey today.
Yes.
Yeah, not his personal stash, but the one that he comes. So my Irish mate bought in a bottle of Conor McGregor's whiskey, and we were sitting here drinking it raw this afternoon. So I've had a few. So Joel, I don't need to add to it. I've got to go home and face my wife yet.
He's already told me he loves me like 5 times.
I tell you that anyway.
Yes. Hey,
Yes,
you notice that Sean Bean dies a lot in movies?
every fucking time.
Everyone thinks that Sean Bean is the one that dies in every one of his movies.
Yeah.
They actually put together an infographic of all the actors that die in films. Turns out
Is he up the top here?
he's not very up the top.
Really?
Sean Bean has only died 21 times.
Oh, only.
Only 21 times. As opposed to someone of the caliber of Vincent Price, who died 41 times.
Oh, shit.
Dennis Hopper, also 41 times.
Yeah.
Lance Hendrickson, 51 times.
Holy shit.
Christopher Lee died 60 times.
In movies.
And the person at
Hang
the
on.
very top...
Hang on, I'll do it.
And shake the shit out of the camera.
Sorry.
Everyone at home's go, whoa.
Oh, so that's me shaking now. Yeah.
Danny Trejo has died 65 times.
Danny motherfucking Trejo, really?
He's the one that we should be making jokes about, him dying in every movie.
Yeah, he has a taco company. Is it taco?
Trejo's Tacos.
Trejo's taco. I'd love to try Trejo's taco.
He's also got Trejo's Donuts.
Has he?
He's got a donut shop down the road from it.
From the taco shop.
Yes, and oh man, I really wanted to visit it.
We just had McDonald's for dinner, and I'm feeling a little bit meh after it.
I would love a taco right
Taco,
about now.
man, I could go a taco.
Yes.
Anyway. Hello, Mark. Mark is tuned in to watch us.
Hey dude, what's happening?
Joel said, we all love you, Ginge.
Oh,
Everyone
thank
loves
you.
Ginge.
Thanks very
and
much.
Bridget has said, I've been waiting for the Bat Twilight comments. Well, you just got some. Bridget, you just got some.
he's got the Rona.
My corona. Yes.
Interesting news that came out overnight.
Yes, Jin.
I know that you've got a bit of a crush on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
No, I haven't.
No,
I haven't.
What, just
William. I'm a William and Kate fan all
Oh,
the way
what?
back.
Come
Yeah.
on now.
The future king of England, thank you.
Really? Well, Harry and Meghan have founded a
Did you
production...
say Megan or Megan?
Well, I would say Megan because that's how it's
It's
spelled.
Australian.
But
Megan.
But because she's from America,
Meghan.
you have to do Megan.
Meghan.
And the way I had to write my notes is to put the highlight over the top of the Meg to make sure that I said that correctly.
Yep.
Just like the Europeans do. With the... Anyway, they've founded a production company and have signed a deal with Netflix.
This is because they're no longer royals. Well,
They're
they're
not
not allowed
royal.
to use the royal title.
Now, the thing is, what people are saying is it's a production company. They most probably won't be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Is that they will just be producing.
Put some dollars.
And I thought that's interesting because Harry's uncle, Prince Edward,
He had a production company.
he had a production company called...
him and Sophie Wessex.
That is correct. Ardent Productions.
That's right.
Back
Did
in
they-
1993.
Did they do the Were they behind some of the the claymation films? Was that-
No.
That's Aardman Entertainment.
that is correct.
Okay.
That is
They
correct.
did a lot of docos though.
They
Aardmans,
did a
didn't
lot of docos. There was one really big one that was about...
Do you know he's Prince Philip's favourite?
No.
Yeah, apparently because he's very much like his dad, but he hooks. Why do you think you've never heard a lot about Edward in the media? He never gets into scandals.
Or I think it's because he knows how to make things disappear.
No. He's the
I said things, not people.
He's the youngest, and him and Sophie have always just done the right thing. They've been, if anything's asked of them to rock up and do an opening, they don't complain. They just rock up, they do it. And apparently Prince Philip, he's one of the favourites with it. Whereas Andrew, right,
Wow.
which we
Wow.
won't fucking talk about.
Hush. Allegedly.
The Queen, that's his favourite, right? Like
Her favourite?
Her favourite, sorry, right? Poor old Charlie gets fucking just... And Anne.
Well, he's
no
a-
one likes Charlie or Anne, right? Anne's too fucking horsey for everyone.
Don't, allegedly.
Allegedly. But anyway, Edward has always been his father's favourite because apparently he just does the work. He just rocks up. He is taken on... remember when we were in high school, they did the Duke of Edinburgh Award
They did.
stuff, right?
Yes.
So Edward has now taken that on board.
Oh, has
he
he?
runs a lot of that because Prince Philip, the
Wow.
Duke of Edward, is way too fucking old now. He's 99 years of age or whatever.
Does that mean that Edward could technically take over the Duke of Edinburgh role?
No.
I don't
I don't know.
the title?
But anyway, him and Sophie are just seen as proper hard-working royals. They don't fucking cause a fuss. There's no scandals. They just rock up, do the work.
I don't understand how earning as much money as they earn that they couldn't just live and do what needs to be done.
Well, that's why they went off and did production company stuff.
Yeah.
They just went off and went, oh, look,
We'll do our own thing.
we'll do our own thing. And they've been called, in the last couple of years, they've been called back into the royal ranks to do more duties because of Prince Philip's age and his health and everything else. And because you can't let Andrew out anywhere because he's fucking...
Allegedly.
Right? He just fucking loves some weird shit. Admit it, if you were
He's
a
got
royal,
some interesting
if you
friends.
were a royal
All
and
t-
you had fucking Secret Servicey type fucking MI6 or whatever people following around being able to cover shit up,
Allegedly.
you would wreak fucking havoc, Jin. Right?
He's got some interesting temporary friends.
Yes, that's
Temporary
right.
living
Yeah,
friends.
Yeah, because one of them ain't alive no more.
No.
Epstein did not kill himself.
Allegedly.
I just want to say, Bridget was wondering about what had happened to the third gentleman of this 5-ring circle. We're not talking about off camera today.
He can get pissed.
He didn't bring dinner to us. We had to go get our own dinner.
Yes,
So we're just
son of a-
ignoring him
He's
tonight.
got 2 jobs. Hold the camera still, and he's managed to muck that up all tonight.
He's been a bit shaky there, haven't you?
And to get us to get us substance.
So we're not going to talk about him, Bridget.
No.
He's persona non grata.
While we're talking to Prince Andrew, I remember back in the 90s that he was on Entertainment Tonight because the documentary he was producing was called Castle Ghosts of England, where they were going around, and he even himself on Entertainment Tonight was saying about how as a child he saw ghosts within the castles, the royal castles of England.
Really? With ghosts or just fucking people that were about to be offed?
Hey.
upset the Queen.
No, this is Prince Edward, not Prince Andrew.
Oh, right.
But and I looked it up today. Yes, you can still check out that documentary.
Really?
I wouldn't mind checking it out.
There you go. How did we get onto the Royals?
I-
How the fuck did we get on the Royals?
because you're such a fan of Meghan Markle.
I'm a fan of the Royals. I don't like Meghan Markle. She has fucked Harry up, I tell you.
Meghan
Harry
Markle.
Harry married wrong. Did I tell you I saw the Queen?
Before Meghan Markle, he was perfectly fine doing stuff like
Wearing a Nazi costume and doing salutes and fucking banging models
and taking Paris Hilton to Ascot.
You would have taken Paris Hilton to Ascot if you had the chance.
She wasn't wearing underwear. Well, it wasn't up to. It wasn't.
That's not his fault.
It's not his fault. It wasn't to know that she wasn't wearing underwear.
Anyway, did I tell you about Christmas time?
No.
I saw in the lead up to Christmas when we were in the UK, the wife and I, we saw
Yeah.
the Queen and we saw Prince
Did she wave back?
Prince Charles going to Parliament to swear in Boris Johnson.
Did she wave back?
I was waving at her.
But she did wave
She's
back.
very dignified. She's in her fucking car and she's just sitting there like.
Did she look at you?
She looked around at the crowd.
You looked in. She looked in
We
your
locked
general.
eyes.
Yeah.
Me and Charlie locked eyes. I was like, Charlie! I'm like, Charlie's in the car! Charlie's in the car! Yeah. My wife was just like, you're a bit of a royal watcher to the extreme.
Holy hell, man!
And then we end up going back to Buckingham and watch them return home. And there's pomp and ceremony. No, there seriously is. You'd watch the guard.
No. Get this, right? Sit down. Listen to this shit.
No, seriously, you're there. They've got a chunk of Buckingham, like where you normally can walk and stand in the front of it's all blocked off, so you're way back.
Yep.
And so there's all police with fucking AK-47s and shit like that everywhere, right? You know. Anyway, but there's the Queen's Guard. You'd watch them. They're over in a corner of the front palace grounds.
They're the guys with the big top hat.
They're dressed in grey with the black and everything.
Oh,
else.
so they could fuck shit
Not,
up. They could hide.
Oh, them.
They'll camouflage
you
against
don't
the
wanna
grey
f-
buildings.
You don't want to fuck with them guys,
Okay,
right?
okay.
As I learned, as I found out the hard way. Anyway,
Allegedly.
you'd watch for them. They must have got call to their earpieces saying the Queen is 2 minutes out or whatever else.
Yep.
So when the car is close, you just watch them. Next minute, like they just go into fucking like Transformers. Boom, boom, up they go, and they start marching. And there's a little, there's like the little band with them playing the fucking, and they go across to the front of the main gates of Buckingham.
Yep.
Right. And they play. And next minute, out of nowhere, he's just like across the mall.
Yep.
Would come the fucking car, and the first one back would be like Prince Charles or whatever else. They'd do that for Charles coming through, and there'd be a motorcade of cars and.
So they weren't in the same car.
No,
Oh.
God no.
Oh yeah, because
No.
if you took out one car, you took out the
You
whole.
take out the Queen and the future King. You don't.
Smart
They travel
thinking.
separate, right?
Smart thinking.
And there's like we're talking 15 minutes between them, right? So in would go Charles first, and you can see it was Charles in the car, and he carries the crown. So
Oh,
when
shit.
he carries the crown on a thing beside him in the car, especially when they're going to Parliament, the Queen does not
Just a
take.
little box.
Because he goes in first, and he takes the crown into Parliament for the swearing in. Then the Queen rocks up separate.
Yep.
About 15, 20 minutes later.
Yep.
And coming home, she doesn't carry the crown either. Charles, as the future king, carries the crown. She comes separate later on down the track.
Right.
Anyway, so he comes in, and then they all. As soon as the car drives in and around the side of Buckingham, gates shut. These guys, bum, 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 back over to their fucking corner, and then you see them. They're in formation, but they're kind of what you call,
At ease.
15 minutes goes by, call must come across, you just see them all stiffen, into formation, fucking comes the gate, in comes the Queen, and of course me being the royal fanatic that I am, and I am
The
a
royal
royalist.
geek.
I'm a monarchist, right? My wife is looking at me, I'm like a giddy schoolboy, I'm like, honey, there's the fucking Queen! Ah! And she's just like, who the fuck did I
Your
marry?
wife's looking
You know?
around. Freddie Mercury's dead. Who are you talking about?
Dude, there are police officers nearby going, keep your eye on that Australian. There's something fucking wrong with him. And I'm like, Your Majesty! You know, Charlie! You know, fucking. Anyway. Oh, I got such a
Where
kick
was
out of it.
Philip?
Philip, actually, that stage, Philip was in hospital.
Ah, okay.
We were there because they were worried Philip might not see Christmas. I was there saying to my wife, I'm like, here we are in the fucking UK for Christmas, and there's a chance Prince Philip's about to fucking cark it. What the fuck are we going to do if Philip carks it while we're over here?
You're like, we're going to fucking stay here because I'm going to see this
I'm like,
out.
we're heading, because he was at Sandringham at the time. I'm like, we're fucking changing our travel plans. We're going up to Sandringham. If he fucking carks it, we're going to do a memorial there or something like that, right? I'm such a monarchist, it's not funny. Anyway, turns out Philip was allowed to go home for
Son of
Christmas
a bitch.
at Sandringham and everything else. But yeah, honestly, my wife must have looked at me and just gone, like she was getting excited about seeing squirrels and stuff. Me, I'm like, there's the fucking Queen! You know, like I was just fucking all over the place. Anyway, it is what it is.
Oh shit.
We've talked about that's not geeky. I'm a royal geek, I guess. But anyway, talk. What else you got?
Well, since we're about halfway through the show, I thought we might bring back our segment that we had last week of was it Geek Eats?
Yep.
We try a new item that we found somewhere across the universe.
Yeah.
This week, we're going to try Milo in a can.
Oh, it's cold.
Yes.
Is that how you meant to have it? Cold?
Well, you wouldn't have it hot.
I don't know. So there's an argument going at the moment. Do you prefer your Milo hot or cold?
I don't know. Well, maybe we should.
How do you drink yours?
Cold.
Yeah, same. Do you like get the big, like a Stein glass, you know, the glass Stein?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
And you put about that much Milo to that much milk?
Yeah, it's like the big spoon that you would use to serve rice to people.
Yeah,
You'd get that and pour that into your cup.
I don't understand these people who put a tiny bit of Milo, the rest milk.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
trust those people.
That's what I'm concerned about. A pre-mixed version of Milo is the fact that it's not going to be my
version of Milo.
No.
It's pretty liquidy. I'm just saying there's not
Yeah,
a lot of...
I'm concerned that there's going to be no Milo chunk.
I'm assuming me shaking this up isn't going to make it explode everywhere.
No,
It's not
because
carbonated.
it's not carbonated.
Right.
They do have energy, fuel, protein written on the side.
Protein, energy. Fuel, protein, enjoy chilled, refuel and refresh.
I'm really concerned about...
Just in case it was carbonated, I'm going to let you open that.
All right. Do we have to mix it up first? It's interesting that the
Just
tab,
open it.
The tab says Milo. All right, ready? 3,
Don't
2,
aim it at me.
1.
That's a bit of a dud. That was a fizzer.
Or non-fizzer,
Or
as the case may
non-fizzer.
be. It's chocolatey coloured.
Smell? Oh, hang on.
Yeah, I'm...
Doesn't quite smell like Milo. You know how when you have Milo and milk?
Oh, that smells like a cheap chocolate. Hang on, I'm going to go to the camera.
Show the punters at
I'm
home.
going to go to the camera with this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold it up. Get across there.
maybe if I put-
Your big fat fingers are in the
Fingers
way.
are in the way.
Right, have a look at how thick this is. That's pretty thick, Ginge.
The colour is chocolatey.
Oh, I'm glad you handed me that fucking glass. Here, pour yourself one.
It's gone everywhere.
There's things floating in mine.
Is there?
There's no bits. Look at those big bits. Those bits.
Well, at least
The
you've got
wafers?
some chunks. I've got no chunks in mine.
I don't think they're chunks of Milo, though.
Oh,
Oh, are you ready?
I'm really... Oh, that's not...
I thought you said that was cold. That's not cold. The cane's cold, but the drink's not.
Oh.
That is like someone has made... You know, like someone's had a Milo and milk, drunk it, and then put water in to wash the glass out. That's what I'm drinking.
It's real watery.
It's the watered down version of what's
It's
left
not
in a glass.
It's almost... Do you remember that Big M chocolate milk? It's almost like a watery version of it.
I know I've got to finish the glass because that's just me.
Oh.
That is shit.
Oh.
That is... Look at it. It is watery fucking shit.
Oh.
I watched that down with Coke.
Oh. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
A Milo energy drink
in a can.
in a can. Probably give it a miss. If
See
you-
that? Buy a can of it, then go throw it at someone. Right? Because you don't want to drink that shit yourself. That's pretty bad. Are you right?
Oh, it's got a really bad aftertaste.
Oh, horrible. Disgusting.
All right, I'll put that in the way.
Yep, putting that away. I'm putting that away. Laura said looks like Bailey's. No.
Oh.
Bailey's actually tastes, smells, and is just poured good. That is shit. Is it powdered milk? Joel, I think it probably is. It's just watery.
The consistency in ingredients is way off.
Bridget said, when my offspring were younger, I did the school tuck shops. Got in trouble with a teacher's aide claiming I put too much Milo in the drink. Are you serious,
You
Bridget?
can never put too much Milo.
I hope you said to them, you can never put too much Milo in their drink.
You could put that much Milo and that much milk, and it would still be a sufficient ratio.
Yes, I'm
Sons
with
of
you.
bitches.
Fuck them.
They fucked me on this.
What else you got? Geeky stuff for me.
The trailer for No Time to Die, the new James Bond movie,
No
come out.
time. I expect you to die, Mr. Bond.
Hey, can I just say,
I'm stroking an imaginary cat. What?
Is it a cat you're stroking?
Yeah, what else do you think?
Well, I was going to say a cat that starts with P.
Continue on.
The trailer dropped overnight. I didn't watch the last one. Do I need to watch the last one?
You should.
Really?
should.
Because it seems like that one and this one
No,
seems
watch-
like it's the same movie. It's
watch
just
it.
him getting around
How
on
do
a
you know if you
motorcycle.
haven't fucking watched it? Watch it.
Well, the trailer is just him getting around on a motorcycle in the last one.
Watch the last movie.
Really?
Yeah, do it.
I don't know.
Are you James Bond fans? I am. I look forward to them. I don't like the old Bond films though. I got on board with Daniel Craig.
Well, definitely not Roger Moore.
Not original.
No.
No. Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton's not too bad.
You made me, because you dragged me along to the cinema when we were teenagers to watch.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah, fucking Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
And look, it was alright, but it was very gadgety. Whereas Daniel Craig comes along and it's more brawn and brain. Like, he was a brawler.
He's looking very old in this one.
It's been a few years, Jim.
I think this kind like Pierce.
We're all looking a little bit older, buddy.
Pierce Brosnan could have pulled it off, even at his age
No,
now.
he couldn't.
Even with the beard.
Scott's gone Sean Connery forever. Oh, really? Really, Sean?
Well, did you what?
God shave the Queen.
What about the one he did, Never Say Never Again? The one that wasn't the proper James Bond movie.
I don't even seen that.
He come back and he was wearing a wig in it. That's how. Well, I mean, he's wearing a wig in majority all of the films that he's in.
He was half balding at a young age,
Yes.
wasn't he? Yes. Yeah.
Do you know that? Did you know that he was in that?
Sorry to all those people that got blinded at home.
Have you ever seen that Disney movie, Darby McCarthy and the Little People?
What?
He's in that.
What?
It's a movie about leprechauns.
The wee little people.
The little leprechauns.
Don't you be fucking off the little people.
Anyway, Sean Connery is in that movie.
Yeah.
And he sings. Right?
Sean Connery sings?
He sings in it, and it was a real tough thing to do to get him to sing in it, right? But the guy that was trying to get the James Bond movies happening, saw this movie and went, "That bloke could be alright as James Bond."
Really?
And it's lucky for Walt Disney casting him in the movie that he became James Bond.
There you go.
Yeah.
What other geeky stuff you got?
We were saying last week that our old mate Christopher Nolan,
Christopher Nolan.
Chrissy, and well.
Oh, Nolansky, as I like to call him.
He's managed to fuck up his latest movie yet again.
Surprise, surprise.
People are saying that how bad the movie is and that it's hard to understand and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
What they're saying now is, remember when the trailer for Batman come out and Bane was in it and you couldn't understand what he was saying?
Fucking word he said. Yep.
And then Nolan's going, no, it's fine. You don't need to understand what he's saying because you just get the gist of it. Well, I'm pretty sure that you need to hear the dialogue to understand what's going on.
I need to know what you're saying to understand it.
Anyway, Warner Brothers said, fuck you, make him more understandable. So he went and did it, right?
Yeah.
He's put his foot down with Tenet and gone, fuck it, I'm going to have the last say on the sound mix. People can't understand the dialogue in Tenet because the sound effects are so loud, you can't hear the dialogue. And they're saying that it makes for an already complex plot more confusing and difficult to ask.
I have heard that it is not a good film. As I said, multiple people have said they're not into it and that it's confusing.
Yep.
Yes, I'll tell you what I watched this week, right? This week, the lovely lass and I, we watched the latest Hellboy movie. David Harbour Hellboy, right?
Yep.
Now, I didn't hate it. Didn't hate it, but I must admit, and my wife, it really bugged her, the soundtrack, like a song would kick in, which didn't seem to suit the movie.
Yep.
Like, the soundtrack to the movie didn't seem to suit what was happening at the time, right?
Okay.
And it would crank up, and you'd be like, fuck, that's loud. And then it would cut back down, but the dialogue would drop. And so suddenly the few words of dialogue, lines of dialogue, after a music track in the soundtrack, you're like, what did they fucking say?
Yeah.
Right? So I found that was annoying as all fuck.
Yep.
The movie itself, I didn't hate. I really didn't hate, but I must admit, I really preferred Ron Perlman
Yes.
version
And just
of
the
Hellboy.
atmosphere of those movies felt better.
The
More
Hellboy,
fantasy.
the latest Hellboy movie, felt like a superhero movie you'd watch in the early 90s.
Oh, shit.
It had that feeling
Oh,
to it.
shit.
It really did.
Oh.
And I went, maybe they're going for a bit of a nostalgia feel there.
Wow.
I don't know, but it wasn't great. I didn't hate it,
Yep.
but I didn't love it. I wouldn't watch it again, let's put it that way.
It's interesting that these technical issues that people are having, the directors and you know movie people and TV people, like the guys from Game of Thrones, when they said, "Oh, well, your TV's not calibrated to how it should be,"
Yeah, because
and you're like,
people complain
"It was too dark."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Hang on, if so many people are consuming your product, can't consume it the way that they want to, then I think you need to change. You're right there.
I think a leprechaun made a mess on my cup. My fingers are stuck in the cup.
Then I think maybe you need to change the way that you think things should be done to cater to your audience. Thanks very much for
You're
that.
welcome.
Ah, it's on me. Sorry, I had
Better on his shirt than mine.
I had a bad experience.
I had a bad experience. I want to talk about Berserker. Remember, I think I told you.
Yes.
I want to mention this. Berserker. It's a comic coming out from Boom Studios. Keanu Reeves is doing it, right?
Yes.
Now, we have had pre-orders in for this. Pre-orders ended a couple of weeks ago when the last previews was due in. Our pre-order numbers for this independent comic coming out through Boom Studios,
Yes, that's correct.
has outsold Batman
Holy
by about
shit.
2 to 3 copies.
Holy shit.
Now, Batman is our top seller here at Kaboom, right? I'm hearing from some stores down south, they were lucky to get 4 people pre-ordering.
What?
Yeah. Whereas here, bit of a fucking phenomenon, huge, bigger than Batman. So, this week they've announced, Boom Studios and Keanu Reeves, they did a Kickstarter. Now, they're kickstarting the books. They don't need the money. They've come out and said, we don't need the money, but we view Kickstarter as a way of, there's an audience who normally wouldn't read the book.
Yes.
Can click once, support it, get it shipped to their door.
Yep.
We're telling people you can do that, or you can go to your comic shop, buy it through the comic shop. It's the exact same comic, blah, 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 blah. It might just be a different cover.
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
They were aiming at 50,000. They got 350 something in the first
Holy
day.
shit.
First day.
Wow.
So it's well and truly covered it, right? Oh boy, didn't that start some shit.
Oh shit,
Right?
really?
There are a bunch of creators who are fucking kicking up a stink going, Kickstarter's not for established companies and big celebrities. It's for people who don't have a following. It's how they launch their books. How dare Boom Studios go and do it? Keanu Reeves doesn't need the fucking money. And they're
That's
like,
a really good impersonation of those people at home.
thank you. Anyway, they have
Acting.
seriously... Acting!
Thank God.
Thank you. They have full on thrown a fucking hissy fit, all because Keanu Reeves and Boom Studios, and remember, he's co-writing it with Matt Kint, and Ron Garney's doing the artwork, right? So these guys, as I said, we've already got the money for the book. Boom Studios have put the money up. This is a different avenue to get the books into the hands of people who might not normally go to comic shops or follow comics.
Yep.
But they go, I like Keanu Reeves. This is about an immortal barbarian. I will follow that book.
Well, it's been
Right.
very difficult to see previews recently.
Right, so comic shops like us are going, hey, look at my fucking numbers. I'm not going to argue or complain that they've gone and done a Kickstarter. More eyes on the product means I will get more phone calls. People going, I heard Keanu Reeves has a comic coming out. Can I please get that? Yes, you can, because I ordered extra, right? But people within the industry, other creators, are so fucking jealous and their nose is so out of joint with the fact of how successful this is. That's not what Kickstarter's for. Kickstarter's for up-and-coming people who don't have a profile. Fuck you whinging creators.
It's also for ripping people off who thought that they bought a drone 4 years ago and it never delivered.
Have you still looked at that drone?
I have still never delivered.
He's a
it
little
never
bit
arrived.
bitter about that.
I spent like $2,000 on it, dude.
What?
It,
How fucking thick are you?
well,
$2,000?
the video that they did, they showed it already built and flying, right? It was all bullshit. They made over $1 million, right?
You put up $2,000?
No, I wasn't the only one.
Do you know how much smack they could have bought us? We're going to have a little argument off air soon. $2,000!
And you know what's really pissed me off is the fact that I then had to wait 5 years to buy the drone that I've got, right?
Have you not been able to go back and actually go cancel my... Is there no
No,
refunds available?
no.
See, that's the thing. Some Kickstarters, you can actually ask for a refund.
Yeah.
You couldn't do
No,
that.
it's been too long.
Dude!
They kept on saying, we're at this point, we're at this point,
This is
we're at
why,
this point.
personally, especially here in Australia, I don't back Kickstarters anymore. I've been burned on a couple of
Yes,
comic ones.
and that's why I won't.
Right? And to back Kickstarter projects that are based in America, shipping from America, the fucking freight or the shipping to get it to Australia is astronomical. You could back, say, a $30 book. It's going to cost you $40 in Australian dollars to get it shipped across. I'm like, I am not paying that. Sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point being,
Yep.
well done Keanu Reeves, well done Boom Studios, to the fucking handful of comic book creators, indie creators who are snubbing their nose and complaining, You know, go and do it yourself, and then fucking, you know, you'll have a shot like Keanu and fucking Boom did. So
I like the fact that they're using Kickstarter as a distribution method.
that's what they're saying.
And local comic guys have done the same because they have printed the book and it's ready to go, and we're just using this as a distribution method.
Bridget said here, Kickstarter as a marketing ploy. Okay, I'd pay that. Interesting if extra money was donated to a charity. Which, you know, that'd be up to Keanu Reeves. If he turns around and says, I actually don't need any money from this, I'm going to donate my portion of this for the script writing or whatever else, I'm going to give it to another charity. That would be fantastic. I'm not saying he's doing that. But I agree with Bridget, that would be great. If they don't need the money, but they're using it as a distribution tool and a marketing tool, fantastic. But you look at Ethan Van Sciver, and I know that's a dirty word because, you know, he's seen as Comicsgate, like a very right-leaning fucking alt group in comics. He has had 2 major successful campaigns in a couple of years. Both campaigns have hit over $1 million US for one book each. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are fucking big-name creators who have got the shits big time with Ethan Van Sciver because he's been so successful with his crowdfunding campaigns. So,
I'm just saying.
Just putting it out there.
Scott at home has said Nolan is the Grant Morrison of movie directors.
Yes. Yep. I'm not a Grant. I'm not a Chris Nolan fan. Not a Chris Nolan fan.
If there's any questions, start writing them in down below.
We're at the tail end of the show. You haven't finished eating your dinner yet.
No, I'm still hungry.
I've got to try and watch the horrible taste of that fucking canned Milo.
A couple episodes ago, I mentioned the fact that Mark-Paul Gosselaar, he's the guy that played Zach Morris on Saved by the Bell.
He was also in Defenders. No, not Defenders. What was the lawyer show we used to watch with him and the other guy in it? Breckin Mayer.
Yes. I'd have to look it up. I forget.
Not Defenders. That was the Jim Belushi.
That was
one.
a Jim Belushi, Jerry O'Connell series, which was really good.
Fuck, what was the name of that show though? You know the one I'm talking about.
I know exactly the one you're talking about. Anyway, so
Franklin and Bash.
I love that show. It's a really good show.
If you've never watched it, go and see if it's streaming somewhere. Yes. Franklin and Bash. If you like law shows, like lawyers, but a bit of a comedy version of it, and that, go watch Franklin and Bash.
Oh, that was a blast from the past, man.
He's spent. Listen to him. He's just like,
Anyway, so Mark Paul has gone back and started watching Saved by the Bell because when he was acting in it, he never watched it.
Oh,
it's
really?
been 30 years since that TV show came out.
Thank you, Jono, for saying Franklin and Bash. We got there.
So he's started a podcast and he's going and watching it week by week, every episode of it. And reading a comment from him, he says, I can't really watch it without picking apart my performance and just thinking how much better I could have been.
Yeah.
Is that what it's like for you every time?
Every fucking time.
Really?
Every time. Every time you film something with me and you play it back to me, I'm like, ugh.
Even
could have done that different. Even when I watch these episodes, I watch these episodes back each week.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes my wife goes, "You're a bit hard on Ginge this week." I'm like, "No, I wasn't." And I'll watch it back. And
I didn't touch him at
and
all. What do you mean?
I will laugh my ass off and go, "That wasn't too harsh on him."
Sometimes when I watch back this show or stuff that we've done, I genuinely enjoy watching it back and going, you know what? That's pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I was talking about my own performance, not yours.
Laura has said no mention of Chadwick Boseman. Interesting you ask, Laura. Okay. Look, sad moment in geek history last week. Chadwick Boseman dying of colon cancer at age 43. It came out of the blue. It was a shock to a lot of people. The reason we haven't decided to mention it on the show is because everyone grieves in their own way, and there's actually been some nasty stuff online this week. What's her name?
Elizabeth Olsen was pretty much set upon on all her different
social media pages because she didn't mention anything about... She was grieving in her own way. She's had to actually turn off her social media, deactivate.
She has shut it down.
Marvel have had to put a statement out saying this is not on, folks. Don't go after people. They grieve in their own way. So it got a bit nasty, which is why we made the decision to not really mention it. Don't get us wrong, I wasn't a fan of the Black Panther movie, but I think as an actor, he was a phenomenal actor. I like him as a human as well. He was very inspiring to young African-American kids and stuff like that.
So, the things that there was a story about a young... he was in a bookstore, and a young African-American actor walked up to him and said, hey, you're a bit of an inspiration. I'm trying to become an actor as well. Is there anything that you should tell me? And he said he spent he spent 45 minutes talking to this kid
Oh.
and mentioning this and that.
The
and this
stories
and that.
you hear about Chadwick Boseman is that he was just a gentleman down to his absolute, centre. He was just an amazing person. So, like we talked about it last week. I've talked about it at length with customers through the week. So I'm a little bit done talking about it, which is why we haven't mentioned it on the show. Look, it comes as a shock last week, and I'm going to miss him as Black Panther. Even though I didn't enjoy the movie, I thought as Black Panther he was pretty cool as King T'Challa. And he was an inspiration to a lot of young people. So he's going to be greatly missed. And it's sad to think, 43, mate. We're 39. I'm 39 tomorrow. You're 39 next week. We're close in age to what he was.
I was just about to say, he was battling it for 4 years.
For 4 years.
He died at 43. That means that we I can't even fathom that happening to me in a year's time.
Yeah.
Or 2 years' time. Or
So it's tragic when you hear about people, and I mean, don't get me wrong, not just because he's a celebrity. When I hear about anyone, and and I'm not going to name names, there's a person we worked with on radio a few years ago. I only found out this week that particular lady has been battling bowel cancer for the last 12 months, and we haven't been in touch for a few years because she moved away from Toowoomba. And when I found out this week, I was absolutely shocked and heartbroken to see that she's... And thankfully, she's on the mend. But she's gone through 12 months of pure hell, going through surgeries, radiation, chemo. And she's only a couple of years older than us as well. She's in her early 40s and got diagnosed with bowel cancer. Thus far, she's got the all clear at the moment. It's been nearly 12 months and she's been a big fight, but more power to her. So it's a shocking thing for us. That's why we don't really talk about it on the show, because we're here to entertain and try and
We're trying to be happy and keep
bring
you
people
uplifted.
up. But look, Chadwick Boseman, fucking rest in peace, good sir. You're a legendary actor and you're an inspiration to a lot of people. There we go. Scott's got a quick question. Questions about the Black Panther movies, future, all good tonight, or just questions about the next show? Questions about the next show. The reason I won't talk about future Black Panther movies, there's been a lot of criticism of people talking about that. They're going, like, this guy has literally just died, and there's fans are already going, who's going to be getting recast? A lot of people are going, it seems a bit insensitive, so it's like, we're not going to touch that for a while. So a couple of shows down the track, we might bring that up and throw that out there and say, hey, who do you think could be good in the role or whatever else? But we don't want to touch it right now, because it just feels a little bit, doesn't it? So, yeah. Happy birthday next week. That's to you, probably. I'm tomorrow.
What, really?
I'm older than him.
Mate,
I'm more wiser than him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to get everyone to give Todd a big shout out. It's his birthday tomorrow.
Aww.
He 1 year older. I
thought you said he's 1 year old. Man, I'm a bit fucking older than that.
Do you realise how old we are? Like,
when you put it like that, you depressing motherfucker.
But what I'm trying to say is,
I think I'm in my prime.
like, I still think that we're like 25. We're hosting a show about comics, movies, television,
I look in the mirror,
cartoons.
I look in the mirror, and even with the grey hair here, the white hair, I look in the mirror. My internal picture, when I'm not looking in the mirror, when I think of me, I picture myself in my early 20s.
Yep.
And same with you, right?
Yep.
When I picture you in my mind,
I still look like I'm 20-something.
with pants on, I picture you in our early 20s, when
Yep.
we were travelling to America for the first
Yeah,
time, all that kind of
yeah.
stuff. Then I open my eyes, I look in the mirror, and I go, oh, I'm not that guy anymore. I am nearly 40. You're nearly 40. There's 5 days between us. And I see the grey hair now, and I see the fucking silver popping up. My wife has had to get silver fucking hair off my ears this week, right? She's like, honey, what the fuck is going on here?
Have
And
you
I'm
ever
like,
thought about dying?
what?
I mean, not.
You depressing fuck! You asshole!
I thought it. No.
I'm 39, not 68. Have I thought about dying and shuffling off this mortal coil?
No,
Fuck you!
I'm talking about colouring your beard.
Oh, in that instance, no, because I thought I'd age gracefully as best I can.
Really?
Yeah.
Gracefully?
Great. Fuck you.
Oh, shit.
My co-host only for this week. I'm recasting next week.
Any more questions down below from the ladies and gentlemen at home? Quickly, while you're typing away, Hocus Pocus is being released as
Is that the fucking Bette Midler movie?
It is the Bette Midler movie, yeah, as an Ultimate Collector's Edition on 2 discs. Back in 1993. And Disney Plus, at the moment, is working on how to do a sequel.
Really? Is it Hocus Pocus? Here we are again.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus, another Mocus.
Toil and trouble, boil and bubble.
Write this shit down, Disney Plus.
I watched Long Kiss Goodnight.
It's a great
That was
movie.
fucking. I'd never watched it all the
Gina
way
Davis,
through.
man.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Samuel
Samuel L.
L.
Jackson.
Jackson.
Fuck, I am old.
The problem is because he sings in that movie.
He does.
And
I
he's
put
got-
my
he's got-
keys in my
And
pocket.
he's got an outfit that looks like Sammy Davis Jr.
That's
out of
what automatically made
Yes.
he thinks Sammy Davis Jr.
Yes.
Because he does. He sings to remind
I
himself.
got my keys in
my
my
pocket. I put my gun in my other pocket and all this kind of shit. Right?
Exactly.
He can't sing for shit in that film. Gina Davis was in her like late 30s, I think, doing that film. She was gorgeous as all get out.
Oh.
But what a great film. We watched that this week, and I had, because the wife said to me, she goes, "Have you ever watched this all the way through?" And I'm like, "I don't think I have." So yeah, there we go. Long kiss goodnight. Well,
Just one last piece of
Okay.
news that I saw. They're making another Evil Dead movie. They're going to call it Evil Dead Now.
yeah.
But Bruce Campbell and old Sam Raimi are not going to be heading it up. They're
That's
just
fucked.
going to be producing it.
That's fucked.
But the idea is, right, and I think it sounds like a couple movies that we've already seen, it's not going to be based in a cabin in the woods. It's going to be based in a high-rise inner-city tower.
Yep.
So it sounds like The Siege. It sounds like
It sounds pretty shit.
Attack the Block. It sounds like Dread.
Yeah, it does, doesn't
I
it?
just, someone's got some money and they want to burn. It's kind of-
John has posted and said the only age you have to worry about is the age of the whiskey you are drinking. You, sir, are a gentleman. I love that, John.
And the whiskey that you drink is old enough to
to order and buy and pour its own whiskey. Isn't that true, John?
Yes.
Right. Scott said, question, Amber Heard. Ooh, Scott, really?
Ooh.
Do you think recasting would have been the right option, or the option they took and letting her keep the role? I would have recast her and kick her to the curb. I think Amber Heard is a nasty bit of work. That's just my thing. Ginge, thoughts quickly?
Well, Elon Musk is in her corner.
I know, but that's because he slept with her.
Eh.
You've got that whole hot, crazy scale. And
Yeah,
I said,
but
I said to you, I think she's kind of hot. And you're like, dude, hot here, crazy here.
Yeah, like way too crazy for
Right?
the
Johnny
amount of-
Depp comes in about here. I'm like, I wouldn't sleep with Johnny Depp.
No, because he's not that hot.
Not unless he paid me $1 million and then anything goes.
I'm just thinking that her crazy hot scale is just way off completely.
Jono said Samuel L. Jackson petitioned for his character to not die as the script had him slated to do so. My wife told me the same thing after we watched the movie.
Really?
And that final scene where he appears on Larry David, is it? Larry King. Larry King.
Yeah.
Larry King. That felt like it was really shoehorned in just to go, see, he's still alive. It felt really fucking weird, that scene. So yeah, John, I know what you're talking about. And then Laura said those hypocritical a-holes. Which one are we talking about? Who's hypocritical? Which one are we talking about?
I don't remember.
Bruce officially hung up the character a couple of years back. Did you know that?
Bruce?
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, but he did the television series.
Did he?
Yeah.
I've never watched any of that.
Yeah, he did the television series. He said he hasn't been asked back to be in this movie.
That's a bit sad.
I was just trying to check to see if there's any last questions before I give this last piece of information, because if I give you this information, you're going to turn off the show.
Really?
Yeah.
You got your pants off?
Well, I'm ready to quickly hit the outro music.
Run.
Just about.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in on tonight's episode.
Thank you all.
It's been an interesting interaction with the ladies and gentlemen at home.
Yes.
I see a question just quickly.
The people who let Amber keep her role. That's who Laura was talking about. Yeah, look, I think she should have been booted from it, but that's just me. But we'll get to that later on down the track. We'll have a discussion about that one night. Hold me to that.
Everyone, quickly comment below. Happy birthday to the hostess with the mostest, Todd Bailey.
Oh, you sweet thing, you. Happy birthday for next Thursday. For you.
So if you want to send gifts here at Kaboom Comics, Toowoomba, the
two old fellas getting old together. We're like brothers. We're best mates, and we share a birthday 5 days apart.
and we haven't thought about dying.
No, well, he has apparently.
I just want to do a strip just right there.
Black all over here. I'll cut my hair off again. See, so, I look like a.
I'm
I
blinded.
look like a child. I look like I've got cancer. Anyway, happy birthday to this big fella for next week. Like I said, we're best mates. We're co-hosts. And we usually share our birthdays together. We'll do something this weekend to celebrate it. Thank you for tuning in there out in fucking TV land.
And if anyone wants to be my surrogate wife for my birthday dinner, hey, more than willing to.
I'm sick of doing it and having to fucking play with these nipples later on. It's depressing.
The news that I'm going to give you is that The Boys has dropped on Amazon already.
Go
you can
and
watch
watch
the
it.
first 3 episodes right now.
Right now, go and watch it. Tell us next week how good it is. Thank you to my co-hostess with the mostest.
Wake ups and pots and pans.
See you next week. Stay geeky.
Bye.
Bye-bye.